All right, hopefully everyone's having a good summer. We're getting down to the end here for this class, and for those that are due my evaluation, I just want to apologize for posting this late. I thought that it was due this coming Sunday, which is the 22nd. It was just a miscommunication on my part and reading emails wrong and all that stuff. But basically, my topic is the relationship between video games and obesity, especially among children, because that's becoming a very big issue. And I know that from first hand. So to start, I'm gonna give some personal experience. In high school and up into high school, I was a very fit person. Didn't play many video games. I was in many sports and definitely focused on soccer throughout high school only. And the pictures there you can see on the one on the left was I was a junior in high school, so it was a little while ago, and I mean I was pretty fit. And then the picture on the right, as much as I don't want to show it, I did gain a lot of weight. And the picture on the right is from my sophomore year of college. So it was about a 3-ish year span. Um, there, basically, what happened was when I went to college, I was not playing soccer anymore. I was playing pickup games here and there, but nothing too crazy. I wasn't competitive anymore. And then with that came a lot of free time. So I would get my homework done. I would get my homework done and have nothing else really to do. So I would end up just playing video games during the week, and then on the weekends, go out. And of course, when you go out on the weekends, not the best intake of food and drinks and all that kind of stuff. So the weight piled on quickly because I was not being active anymore, and it was due to being bored and finding myself playing a lot more video games. Um, as far as my diet went, though, it wasn't like it was terrible. I wasn't eating out all the time. It was mainly dining hall food, but then again, that itself can be not the best. But I did try to eat healthy, chicken, salads, all that kind of stuff, but it just all piled on, especially with no physical activity after. It was just walking back and forth, no hard working out and all that stuff. So the weight did come on. Just is something that happened relatively quickly and was not expecting it. Um, so yeah, one of the big reasons I put towards that is video games, because instead of playing those video games for 4 to 5 hours a night, I easily could have gone to the gym. It was a free student rec center, no excuse really. But that's my personal experience of why this topic itself meant a lot to me and why I wanted to talk about it in my paper. So as far as obesity among children goes, the CDC mentioned that 1 to 5 school-age children and young people from ages 6 to 19 in the United States are obese. Now that number is a lot, because in my opinion, when I was younger, I was a very fit kid just because I was always out doing stuff, whether it was playing sports, outside with friends, neighbors, whatever it was. I was never really sitting down at all. I was always just out and about, nonstop, when I wake up till I go to sleep. So the issue is a lot of screen time, and I'll get to that topic in a minute. But as far as these kids go now, though, they're not as physical as they should be. I've heard at the schools I grew up through, which is Mokina Elementary School, junior high, and all that stuff, they're doing less physical activity as far as like running and stuff goes. I'm not sure why the exact reasons are, but ones I heard were parents are complaining that their kids had to run and be very physical in school, which I don't see what is wrong with that. That's just my personal opinion. Um, so they do less cardio stuff, less that is more games if they even do games. But all of that is the issue leading to obesity, and by keeping kids less active, the rates are just going to keep going up because their diets are also not the best, especially if parents are busy working jobs and running around after their work. They just grab food to go because it's all simple and easy to get there. But as far as like the screen time goes for children, I didn't get a cell phone till I was in 7th grade, um, and it was a flip phone. It wasn't anything special. Didn't have texting, just for phone calls from my parents whenever I needed it. Now I'm seeing kids, well, at least cousins I have that are 4 to 5 years old, each have their own iPhones. So it starts at a young age now where kids are looking at screens, playing games which are apps, all that kind of stuff, and that is leading them to wanting to play more on consoles and stuff as they get older. And because they're sitting there and doing that instead of being out and playing and running around, all that kind of stuff, they're gaining the weight. And a lot of it can be genetics. I'm not saying all people are fat because of video games and all that stuff. Sometimes people have a genetic issue where the weight is on and they're working to get through that stuff. But a lot of it is video games and sitting in front of a screen and not being active. So we'll get to the video games now. This was from a statistic website I found about video games. 28% of the population under the age of 18 play video games, 29% between the ages of 18 and 35, 20% of ages 36 to 49, and 23% of those are 50 and older. So it's not saying that all these people are not fit. They're not obese or any of that kind of stuff. Some people can be fit, but it's just a kind of a statistic that shows video games are in everyone's life. I mean, 50 and older, they were around when like the first start of video games came out and all that kind of stuff. And to see that they're still playing is actually pretty impressive. The big numbers though, the 28% are under 18 and 29 are 18 to 35. The 18 to 35 was kind of a shocker that it was the majority or the biggest number, mainly because you're in college, you're getting out of college and starting your career, but a lot of them are still playing video games and not really maybe focusing that much on it. And then the 28% under the age of 18 was not a shock to me. I was kind of expecting that number. They don't have many responsibilities. I'm not saying that kids under the age of 18 don't work, like the 16 to 18 group, but I mean, you're in high school, summer comes, I mean, even school nights, you still play all night and you go to school and then you do it again. So it is a big issue. It would be ideal to get that fixed somehow. And then, like I mentioned before, the more screen time at an early age. More and more kids are getting iPhones or using their parents' iPhones at an early age and know how to do more on the iPhone than I actually do. I'm not the most tech savvy person, but I have a pretty good idea of what to do. And I've seen kids much younger than me, do things on an iPhone that I've never seen before. Simple as that. Whether I don't know, I haven't looked at it enough to realize that's a thing or whatever it is. They are so into it and it's just causing such an issue with them that it could be a long-term issue in the end, which is the obesity rate going up and people staying obese because they're not getting active. They're just sitting in front of a phone or TV, Xbox, all that kind of stuff. And one example is Fortnite, which I do play Fortnite. I'm not gonna hide that fact, but I did some research on it and they were making records of people playing the game at once. And the total amount of people that have played the game since it's become popular, it's been out for a very long time, but it didn't become popular till this past winter. But the total number of people they have is 125 million people. That is a lot of people and a big issue because that means a lot of people are playing video games instead of playing sports, whatever, outside, just being active. So my big thing with this paper was to show the correlation between video games and obesity rate. And I used my personal example just because that is what happened to me. I was very active, stopped being active, played more video games, had an average to bad diet, and gained a bunch of weight. And then I started working out hard again. I've managed to lose a lot of weight, and I'm getting back into it and playing less video games. So I do feel like that correlation is there. Hopefully you all agree with me. Thank you.